What's up? It's 9THT9 up, and today is Friday, and I have a simulation theory rant type video for you today. Before I get into my video, well, the ranting part, I want to play like a few videos and clips of like the simulation theory just being presented in like a few different ways, just so you get an understanding of what this video is giving. So let's just play the clips.
I believe that this is the beginning of the biggest discovery of humankind. I'm about to claim that I have proof that we live in a simulation. Now, I know it's a lot to live up to, so either I just shot myself in the foot, or I have something that is truly enormous and profound for you. How do we deem what's real? How do we decide what in fact is real? The way we decide what's real nowadays is through the scientific method, and it's a really good method. The scientific method essentially states that if you can observe something over and over and over again, and you can reproduce the results, and you can ask the right questions, and you can theorize the right things about the process, and you will get something fundamentally true. The problem with that is that we're looking at it through the senses, the way that we perceive them. What if I would tell you that in order to see a portion of reality that we so far have not been saying, the only way to do that is to be in an altered state? Now, this is not a new statement all by itself. People have claimed this many times. When they do certain substances or they go into a trance, they seem to see another portion of the world that we don't usually see. Now, that's a deal breaker for science right there, because they deem those states incoherent. Well, I beg to differ, and I'll tell you why I disagree. I'm not saying that the scientific method is wrong. It absolutely is the most valuable thing we have. Obviously, we don't see the majority of the electromagnetic spectrum. We only see what is the tiny sliver of the visible light, and we know that other things out there, but we know that because we built instruments that can sense this part of the electromagnetic field, and we built other instruments to interact with other fields that tell us that they're there. We also build models or theories that allow us to probe into the more speculative nature of the bigger pictures in the universe. Those models are taken more seriously simply because they rest on very heavy mathematics that seem to match with other predictions that we can measure. All of that is a super valuable and a super valuable way to look at the world. In fact, there is no better way of coming at a problem as far as we know today. But here's why I'm making my suggestion. I'm about to claim to you that I found a way to stabilize a signal from those altered states that allows you to see something that is as real as anything that you want to define as real in this three-dimensional space. By seeing this, I realized that certain things hold a quality that we don't know how to talk about it, because everything in our physical world is just defined as the physical world, and therefore we don't think of it in any special terms. The fact that things don't just disappear, the fact that they're always there no matter when you look at them, and there's a certain other quality that we don't usually think about, but there's a certain rigidity. It's almost like insistence of the object to be itself. The best way I found to describe it is that it's epistemologically sound. I know it sounds loaded, but essentially all it means is that it has this quality of realness. It's very clearly there. It's not the same as walking in the middle of the night and looking at a tree and not being sure if the tree is a person or not. What I'm claiming to have found, it is like a chair sitting in front of you. It's very coherent. It's right there. For the most part, I fully agree. If all you can come up with are these esoteric stories, no matter how many of those stories will compile together, it will never amount to true proof of anything. And we're not going to have any way to talk about these things objectively until maybe we have some more advanced tools like Neuralink, linking our brains or projecting our thoughts onto a screen, which will make it more feasible to think about ways in which we can agree on what is actually being observed. But what if I tell you that without any Neuralink, you can actually produce the same observation over and over and over again? In fact, no matter how many people stand in the room at the same time, they would see exactly the same thing. So here's the secret. You ready for this? I want to be clear. I'm not condoning anyone doing drugs, but it just happens to be the case that if you smoke dimethyltryptamine, DMT, and then you project a 650 nanometer refracted laser, I will show you exactly what it means at the end of the video. Of course, be very careful because you are in an altered state, and you project it on a wall. If you do that and you look into the laser, you will see something very interesting. Inside, not in the light in itself, but behind the light, you will see patterns, but more than that, you would see numbers running. The thing here is that it's not like because you're in a psychedelic state, you see all those patterns moving around, and any random pattern will transform to random things, which psychedelics absolutely do. You will see something very coherent. And if you move the laser, you will notice that it's not moving with the laser. The laser, in fact, is moving across the sea of information. It's like it's shining through. It's showing us what's behind. If you look inside, you will notice that it's a different frame of reference. It's on a different plane. So if this is the end of the door, whatever is inside is not moving when you move the beam with the laser. It has real coordinates in space. It's very clear. You can identify the motion, you can identify the qualities, and you can talk about it in just as real terms as you can talk about a table or a chair in the room. Now, I show this to many people at this point, and this is how I have the confidence to say that this is actually there. I understand that this is a big claim, and it will require way more than a few dozen people seeing it, but this is why a bigger research is required. The larger claim is that, well, either we actually live in a simulation, and that's what this is the source code that is running the place, or we get to peer into this parallel dimension that has this code running in it. Whatever it is, it's there. It's 100% there. And I think it's time for science to start loosening up a little bit. There are ways and methods of doing things, experimenting with new ways of trying to understand the world. Because if there is an entire sliver of reality that we simply can't see because of how we're constructed, there's certain bandwidths that we can't actually absorb, then no matter what instruments you're going to build, you're not going to see them, even with those instruments. Now, what if at the moment, the only instrument to see this thing is to alter our brain, and then using this laser, just like a telescope looks at light that comes from very far away, this laser somehow, the refraction itself allows us to peer into that space. Somehow the information carried from that space is sifting through into our space through that wavelength. But in addition to that, we might need to be in a different state to actually be able to see it. Now, that's something that at the moment science doesn't come close to entertain that notion or that idea, but I think it should. I'm going to keep trying to talk to researchers and individuals and explain what I found. I think it's up to all of us to make that discovery together, because it's way too big for one individual to handle. The difference between any other claim that was put on the table on this subject before and what I'm saying is that this is the first time we have a tool that potentially can help us talk about this thing in objective terms. And again, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So because of the size of the claim, this doesn't amount to anything that meets the criteria of what extraordinary evidence would be. But this is a very good place to start. This is a real conversation we should start having. This is why I'm putting this video out there.
Okay, so I don't have much to say for the video I just played. It really speaks for itself. So if you watch this video all the way, the video I just played all the way through, then you understand what I'm saying. I don't have much to say. It speaks for itself. But the reason why I even made this video is because I'm watching this show called Dark, and it's on Netflix. It has 3 seasons. It's mind-bending, yes, but I feel like I already been thinking this before I even saw the show. Even shows that I have seen that don't hit like this, but will hint at this. And that's another thing. A lot of shows are hinting at this type of stuff. But let me finish what I'm saying. I still already thought of these things. I think that's what always is the most mind-bending part for me, is that how, like, I already thought of this and you guys made it. But I don't even know if you know, if you are someone like that, where there's a show that you're watching, you're like, I already had like this theory without ever having, like, you know what I mean? And it just hit so well. It hit so well on the point. God, it's just, the show Dark really hit every point that I was to ever have. Like, I feel like that's why the show was so not predictable. Yes, the show was pretty much predictable, but it was crazy that I think it was so surprising but predictable for me, because I already thought of this, but you guys actually making the stuff I thought of, it's crazy. Like, and then being on point, it's crazy. Now, I wouldn't say 100% on point. Nobody's perfect. I mean, there's a few things I would have added in. That's a video for another time. But I didn't even finish. All right, so I'm on so I shouldn't even be speaking. I'm on season 2, episode 4. So I really can't say too much. Yeah, so not too much. I'm not gonna say too much because I didn't even finish that. But there's so many shows right now, like, well, actually a lot of them are old too. I've been watching some old goodies. There's so many shows that hint at, like, the simulation theory. Just so many, like, theories that are, like, pointing to a deeper meaning of stuff and like that. Oh my God. So today was a long day, so just forgive that little part right there, that little whatever just happened right there. The deep, like, theories that I have already been, like, thinking about since I was younger are now coming to the forefront, and it's really, like, that's the most mind-bending part about all these shows. They're hinting at deeper things that I already, like, thought of. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I really hope somebody, I know for a fact there's people out there that feel the same way. Like, you already kind of, like, imagine stuff like this already had, you know, already knew something like this could happen, and already had planned it out in your head and all that, and now they're really making it. It's, like, amazing to see. So I just had to rant about it because it's like, wow, I'm really shocked. Dark has me the most shook because this is one of the theories I have had since, like, since I was so young. That's why I really like this show, because there's a kid, I can't even remember the names, I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm binging. When I don't watch shows, like, gradually, when I binge, I do not remember the characters, which is not good. But one of the characters was like that, just questioning time. Like, I've questioned everything. I mean, everything. And watching, like, a lot of, I think that's, like, a common theme actually in my family. Like, we question everything. We question each other. We in each other's business, the government's business. We're like, I'm not even gonna hold you, not everybody, you know what I mean, the majority, like, just, like, we want to know what's going on. Like, my family is, like, spiritual but not spiritual. Like, we all, I don't know, if you know, if you get it, you get it. Maybe somebody has a family out there too where it's like, you know, things already. Like, so I've already always been questioning things, and time has been one of the things I've questioned the most my whole life, since I started learning about time, since I started learning how to count the clock, you know what I'm saying, like, since the months, like, the days, since I started learning about all that, like, the days of the week, everything, you know what I mean, like, which is like, what, for me, I went to daycare, so for me it was like daycare. I learned that at daycare, well, really at home for me, actually. You know, your mom's teaching you that at home. So it's like, oh my God, I can't say that no more. Let me stop. Okay, cool. For me, like I was saying, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. This goes back so far, and I really have been thinking about time even deeper now that I've gotten older. And I was like, I want to watch it. I should. Now let me stop. I have to chill, It's been a long day. I talk to people all day. So after talking all day, I'm literally starting to malfunction. It's not even funny. Like, I'm literally starting to malfunction. So just bear with me. And that's why I say we live in a simulation, because my brain literally needs to cool down. But I came over here to make a video, and I really have to get this out, because I literally cannot fathom how they really came out with this show. I'm sorry. I've been right now in this time that I'm in right now. I've been fiending to watch a show that's about time and stuff like that. Like I've been watching a couple of movies. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it about like multiple realities, universes, dimensions, and I actually watched time lapse. I've been watching like a lot of movies. I mean, not shows. Sorry. I've been watching a lot of movies about time and dimensions, but I really want to get into a show that dove deep, and I didn't manifest it, but it's here, and that's crazy. It's been right under my nose this whole time. This show has been here. It's right under my nose, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch it. Like, I just would scroll past it. I didn't know what it was on, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what it was. I know it was Kevin. I know it was this good, and now I'm kind of like tight that I didn't watch this earlier, but it's good. It's really good. I've been thinking about time a lot lately, so watching this show is just like it's such good synchronicity for me, being that like I'm getting back into that weird, like, not even weird, but like I'm getting back into like time. Like something about time is just not sitting right with me again. It's bothering me. Like, time is not sitting right with my spirit again. When I was really, really young, and I'm talking about young, like I went to Catholic school, so I don't even know. For me, it was like pre-K through 12th. So I don't even know what grade y'all would call that. But when I was in like the lower grades, I guess that's like what, middle school? Or no, elementary. When I was in elementary, I went through like kind of like that's not even a midlife crisis. I was about to say midlife crisis, just a random crisis. Oh my God, I'm malfunctioning. I literally just like had a mental breakdown over time. Like I knew time by that time. I understood time, the months, days of the week. Obviously by elementary, I understood all that. You know what I mean? Like I understood, but I could not grasp it. You know what I mean? Like I knew time. Like I knew, you know what I mean? Like I understood what was going on and understand, but I couldn't wrap my mind around it. It's like I knew of something that I didn't know in that moment. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I do know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to get across what I'm trying to say right now. But if you know, you know. If you get what I'm trying to say, you get what I'm trying to say. So it's like, damn, y'all made a show that came pretty damn close, and fuck, that's good. But like I said, nobody can be perfect, but this is really close. This is the closest any show, movie has came. Honestly, it's just a show that no show has came this close. No movie has came this close for me personally, for how I was perceiving time and time travel. Because I watched Back to the Future. Back to the Future for me was like big because my mom liked it when she was younger. Back to the Future from like my mom's like age, so she was like fiending for me to watch it. She was fiending for me to watch it when I was younger, so I watched all the Back to the Futures, whatever. And oh my goodness, and I think I watched that when I was in elementary school. I just put it together, and I feel like I already knew that already, but I just do so much that I don't even, it's already in my mind, but when I say it out loud, it finally like connects. So that's what probably triggered me to like have a crisis, have a mental breakdown. Back to the Future, I really think that movie messed with my head, because then I went on, because that's how I am. My mind always ran like a mile a minute. When you say something to me, I already have like 1,000 thoughts about it. So it's like, when you talking about going back to the future to a child me who doesn't know what I know now, and like just everything, where I could calm it down a little bit. And that's why it's like oh my God, that's why I feel like this is synchronicity, because I'm having that problem, which is weird again, where I'm like, time, it's weird, it's bothering my soul, because I've gotten over that. Like I'm over time bothering me. Like I've grown past that, supposedly. Not really, because clearly I'm having a problem. But anyways, when at that time I went on and on. I mean, like to the point where I think lost myself in it. I don't even know. But that's another story for another day. I just have so much to say. So sometimes I might want to do the vlogs. I'm just gonna go on to rants because I have so much to say, and I want to, even though like I'm kind of like wanting to get myself together, get this channel together. Sorry, I thought I had like the hiccups or whatever. I thought it was about to be a hiccup. Anyways, what was I saying? I want to get this channel together, so it's like I want to wait now, just keep doing these voiceovers until I get my channel together. Not even my channel, my setup. I'm not functioning. This whole video, I already talked for so long. I'm never gonna be the type of person that's gonna film more than once. It's supposed to be something I like, not a job. So you always get my first try. My first try for me is just everything. So just take it. I don't even know what I'm saying. You know what? Matter of fact, I'll do a part 2 to this video tomorrow if it's good to me. Whatever. 9THT 9 out. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, should I do like kind of like a closing statement though, because I don't know if I ended good. Time has always bothered me. 9THT 9 out. Yeah.